Hi, welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, we're back working on this, the PRSB401 Type R. And in this video, the plan is we're going to upgrade it and then take it back out on track. Now, off camera, a few weeks ago, I took it for a day's racing. Get a real bit of shakedown and put some effort into actually getting used to this, and it didn't go too well, so I decided that I was going to upgrade a few bits and pieces to see if I can dial the car in properly. So we're going to swap out the whole chassis. Yes, I picked up a competition chassis, so we've got to strip all the car down. Also, I'm going to change the springs, the anti-roll bars, I'm going to put ceramic bearings in it, and I'm going to change the wheels and tyres as well for slightly different ones to hopefully improve the handling. So there's quite a lot to do, so stay tuned if you want to see how I can improve my PR Racing SB401. So when I took the car racing for that day, I actually got to spend some time with it, and one of the things I found was it just felt quite heavy to me. Now obviously I'm used to running two-wheel drive, so having a four-wheel drive car is very different. So I went back and I thought, well, if I can lighten the car up a little bit, I can at least move the weight around inside the car and get it down to the minimum allowed weight. So when I found that competition chassis, I thought I'd give that a go. Also, I wanted to do some other things at the same time, so it kind of made sense to do the whole lot together. So I did fit titanium screws throughout the whole car as well to lighten it again. Also, the anti-roll bars that I were running, when I looked at a few pro setups, they were using much thicker anti-roll bars, so I picked those up and I tried to match the car more towards the pro setups that I'd actually seen for very tight carpet tracks. Also, Plague Bearing sent me over the load of ceramic, ceramic, not ceramic, I know, bearings, so that I could actually fit that to see if the car would flow a bit better. Now, I would never recommend doing this many modifications all in one go, but hey, why break the habit of a lifetime? I keep doing this to myself. So the front is now all put back together again, and as you can see, I've got red and blue springs on the front, I've got a red anti-roll bar on the front, and I forget what's on the back, green I think. Also the tyres I've changed. Now these look almost identical, but they are the Fusion 2s and the Fusion 1s. Now a lot of people rate the Fusions, the original ones, more than the Fusion 2s to do with the sidewall and not being quite as grabby. So I picked up both sets. I was running the Fusion 2s on the front, and then I'm going to try Fusion 1s to see. My only concern is that my rear are going to be wearing out a little bit, so the balance might be a little bit off. So I weighed the competition chassis versus the stock one, and you're looking at saving about 13 to 14 grams. Unfortunately, I didn't weigh all the titanium screws against the stock ones, but looking at the modifications that I've made, the Buggy's coming in at 1487, which against the rules is under because it's 1588, but that includes the battery. So if I add my battery into it, it's taking me over, so I'm about, just under 18 grams. So I plan to change to titanium turnbuckles, which should get me that extra 18 grams to be on the money. So after a good few hours, all the work is done. So I guess that only leaves one thing left to do. Take it out and see if I've improved it or made it worse. Yeah, give or take. Now unfortunately my GoPro decided that it didn't want to record the final, so I don't have that unfortunately, and it just happened to be my best race of the evening. Anyway, I'm going to show you qualifying round 3 as I make some really obvious mistakes and also some big wins in here as well. So I am actually pulling away, I'm in the orange car, I am second to last. So just settling into it. Obviously this is qualifying, not racing, but yeah, well, kind of are anyway. And as you can see, everything is nice and tight right up to the point where I make my first mistake, and as you can see, making a mistake drops you right back. So now the pressure's off a little bit and I can just settle into it, and yeah, then I make another mistake. Stupid little mistake, it's killing me time. So now I'm already getting on for half a lap down. So it's a good sign. It can really show you that being clean makes all the difference. Now that was my last mistake, so I've got to start clawing them in, and the modifications that I've made have really made this car come alive. It is insanely fast and it's really doing what I want it to do. I can lean on it. When we get to the big corners, I can power through them. The car is really responsive and it's basically doing what I want it to do. Shaving off that bit of weight has really made a difference and it feels much more nimble. Also, the back does slide out a little bit. The rear tyres on this are a little bit more worn than the front ones, which are brand new. So I will try putting new tyres on the rear for the next round. But when it does let go at the back a little bit, it actually does it very predictable. It doesn't just spin you round. Now we're going to skip forward a little bit in the race as I've managed to slowly claw my way back, but that isn't actually that interesting to watch, so we skip forward. Now you're about to see me clear the second kicker and I could apply the power so much faster I overcooked the corner, but that's really going to help my lap times from now on. So now I know that I can clear it, I can really start to speed that section up instead of being so slow and to get the car to be more settled. It really did improve my lap times. Right, we're slowly catching up with the vintage buggy in front. Let's see if we can pull them all back in again. Nice through there, super quick, over the kick, just about hit the kicker, but I managed to really pull them in on that last straight and corner. So we're sitting there with them. Let's just jump a little bit further, see if I can grab a bit of time. A little bit sloppy out of there. They made a few mistakes and we're right on them. And as you can see, I could happily sit with them, which is really good. It's just how long before I make a stupid mistake and ruin it. But we're all together. This is great fun driving this close. And then, yes, I run out of talent. And as you can see, I'm just dropping back further and further. But the car is mighty. I'm really chuffed and it's a pleasure to drive. I feel like I can really hustle the car a lot. It's just making these silly little mistakes. It's costing me more and more time. Luckily in the final I managed to get a lot more of a cleaner run, and that's where I managed to get such a better time from, as the car can put the laps in no problem at all. It's just me being sloppy and messy. Now if you watch this, absolutely on him. Look at that. If it shows how much I can reel that in if I get it right. A massive thank you to Model Tune for sponsoring this build and this video. If you'd like to save 5% on everything on Model Tune's website, use RCKicks at checkout to save yourself a few pennies. I'll put a link in the description, so head over there and check it out if you're looking for some RC good stuff. So I can say a massive step forward, and I'm really chuffed with how it performs. It really did come to life and I could power into those corners so much, changing the anti-roll bars and going stiffer. New front Fusion tyres, they are a much better fit for this buggy than the Fusion 2s. The Fusions are the way to go for sure, and it matches what people were telling me. Yeah, it turns in much better. The balance of the car is a lot closer. I do plan on swapping out the rear tyres. These have done quite a few meets now, so these have only just done one. So my plan is to put some yellow cactus on the rear to see whether it brings it up a little bit closer to help the balance. Not that it needs much. It will snap out at the back a little bit, but it's very predictable. Yeah, it really is nice to drive. I just need to get used to it and stop making as many mistakes. Once I start dialing out my mistakes, I should be able to set some pretty decent times. So really looking forward to getting out racing again. Now I've got a little bit of meat left on the bone. I think I'm about 18 grams over the minimum. So my plan is to fit titanium turnbuckles, and that should bring the weight right down to the bare minimum. Apart from that, I've just got to get used to it. Total pleasure. Highly recommend shaving off a bit of that fat if you've got one. And putting some red and blue springs on the front, and then a red anti-roll bar on the front and a green on the back if you're driving on a very tight carpet track. So what's coming next for Noob Goes Racing? Well, we are turning our attentions to the B7. Now, Jen's Ace contacted me and said, hey, would you like some batteries to try out in your upcoming B7? So I said, yes, would be nice to try another battery manufacturer. Also, I've got to pick up a servo and an ESC and motor for it. Now, I've decided I'm going to push the boat out and I'm getting the Corsatec a 7.5 turn and the ESC. I loved it to pieces. It's a big part of what makes the PR racing car so good. The punch, the power it has, the smoothness. So I'm going to get exactly the same again and put it in the B7. Also, it'd be nice to see how it goes in the B7 as well as having it in the four-wheel drive. I love the Bluetooth, the way that you can set it up so easily without messing around. And it doesn't run crazy hot. It's reasonably small. And I just really like it. But of course, that's why you've got to pay the money you do. So in an upcoming video, we're going to have that. Also, I need a racing servo. The Savox servo that I've got in my PR Racing is not the best. So I need to upgrade that. And I need to put a servo in this. So let me know what racing servo you use that you would highly recommend. Budget wise, no more than say 125. I don't want servo links to £300 servos, thanks very much. But 125-ish is probably enough for the racing servo for me. Right, I think that pretty much covers everything. So thanks very much. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell notification, as we've got lots more coming soon.